Welcome again to Hangout Cafe. Now, today we're going to be talking about unwrapping the gift of sex, this beautiful gift that God has given to us. But before we go on, again, I need to say disclaimer. Oh, sorry, I'll pin the disclaimer. I need to say that this topic is only for those who are 18 and over, and it may be sensitive. And those who may be, those who are not married, it may be a bit sensitive for you, but if you're here, it'll be good to learn. As long as you're over 18, we don't want to trigger, we don't want to trigger anything. You know what I mean? Okay, we're all adults. So, Tumi and Tunji, you guys, I think in September, you would have been married for 18 years. Wow. Can I say happy anniversary in advance?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
18
Thank you.
years. Has it been 18 amazing years? Or
It has. I think it has. As in, given the fact that what we've been together for,
Well, 10 years.
we dated for 10 years before we got married.
okay.
So 28 years.
So 28 years together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. 28 years.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a long time to be. And you guys, wow. I love that. Well done. Well done. Okay, so before we go into the topic, actually, just tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do.
Okay. Ladies first.
Okay. I'm Tumi. A lover of God, lover of life. Everyone that knows me knows I love to smile. I love to have a bit of fun. Wife to amazing Tunji, mother to wonderful girls, and I work in HR. Love what I do, love where I work. And yeah, I love my friends, love my family. And that's me in a nutshell, to be honest.
Thank you. Tunji.
Okay. I'm Tunji Ladele, married to Tumi. We've got two amazing girls. I am a company director. I work for a company that I started up, Blue Phoenix Marine. Do a lot of traveling. I love God. I love my journey in life so far. I like the fact that what I do is tied to purpose, and I've got my greatest cheerleader as my life partner.
Oh,
Yeah. So
thank you.
boring, but yeah, not as exciting as to me, but yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tunji. Someone said that, did you start dating at 5? Yeah. You both look very young. Apart from if Tunji
we
didn't
met in
have the
uni.
beard, I'm sure they'll think maybe he's 30.
Nothing like that. We met in uni.
Yeah, first year of uni.
Yes, and we just hit it off.
Okay.
It didn't start like
We're friends.
we're friends.
We're friends first, and then he came with someone who wanted to ask me out. He came as his wingman, and then he took over. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Okay. How old were you when you got married?
I was
29. You're 31.
I was 31. She was 29. Yeah. It was
28 years altogether, 18 years married. That's good. So you got married. Where did you get married? Was it in Lagos or here?
Lagos.
It was in Lagos.
Yes, and Pastor Shola actually.
Yeah, you were there.
Actually wed us.
I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah, City of David. I think it was like the Jesus House wedding, but we kind of hired the church. We used City of David. It was relatively new then. The church then passed. I think it was around convention. So you and Pastor Shola were around.
Okay. I can't remember.
So it was, I think it was a redeemed convention time, and the timing worked well, and so he wed us.
Okay. So any other married couple, you get married and you're looking forward to the wedding night. Um, so how was it?
So prior to that, of course, we have the bridal shower.
Oh yes,
I've been
yes,
given
yes,
lovely
yes.
gifts by wonderful friends that planned it. They went from edible body paints to edible underwear to matching underwear sets, and I was really, really excited. And she's probably not on the call, but a woman of God who was my friend was like, look, you have to do a dance, a shimmy, you wear what you have to wear and you just walk towards him. It has to be very sexy and sensual. Don't just go on the bed like that. It has to be. So of course I wear this,
Wait,
sexy
actually,
dress.
before you continue, did you have premarital counseling and all of
Yes,
that
we
before
did.
you
Yes,
got
we did.
married?
I can't remember. I apologize, but I can't remember us
Was it
talking
at
about.
Jesus' house?
Yes, but we're
It
talking
didn't
about
really
sex.
go in deep
No, it was
yeah,
good. It was about
it
it
was
helped
good.
with finances, coming in as a new couple. Don't bring in whatever it is you grew up with. Don't say this is how we do it in my house. Starting anew, but I don't think there was a deep delve into sex.
Yeah.
A
Right.
deep dive, yeah, into sex and all that. I don't think that part was
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
but everything else was fine. There was nothing, and I think so that's what I did. I just
So you,
shimmy dance.
you got all those
I got
things that your friends said.
all those things. I just thought, look, it will help with whatever is about to happen. And
And
before we got married,
also because you were
I was
a
a
virgin.
virgin.
Yeah.
And then before we got married, I told Tunji about those wonderful things I was going to do to him. I was like, just don't,
No,
you
so
just wait.
wait. Let me come in here. Let me come in here a bit. So before we got married, so all the while we were dating, to me, okay, I wasn't really a Christian. I wasn't really okay. So I grew up
Yeah.
Catholic,
Okay.
right? So yeah, went to an FGC college, got born again, like a lot of people. But when you're young, because your school father says, "Yeah, you need to give your life to God," and you do it. So I was not but I was Catholic. So met to me, and then of course when you find someone that you fall for.
Yeah.
No, yes, she took me to church. I started going to church. She was a worker in church, so I knew that um,
No
no
sex.
sex.
Right.
She made it clear, right, that it wasn't her wish,
Okay.
right, and so when we started dating, I was, you know what, I because I loved and I respected, that even the decision, I thought, okay, you know what, we'll wait until we
Yeah.
get married.
Yeah.
So of course, to me, it would be like, oh, you know what, when it happens, when we get, this is what I'm gonna destroy you. This, so yeah, there was expectation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't have cuddles. So once I know Luke, he said there were cuddles, but when you're like, okay, this is where we stop.
Of
No
course, so
further.
there were boundaries.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a saint. You know, I'll be honest. I wasn't a saint, and to me knew that,
Okay.
right? Um, but for me, like every other well, a lot of young men,
Yeah.
you sow your wild oats, get into all sorts. But I think for me, as a principle,
Yeah.
I would never ask someone out. That was before to me. I'll never ask someone out
Yeah.
because I wanted to sleep with them.
Okay.
It was it's
Definitely.
okay, we both know what it
Yeah.
is, and so I never essentially dealt with a virgin. So I didn't, so it was new territory for both of us.
Was that the attraction?
No,
Okay.
I think it was
My weight and my intelligence.
whatever. It was no, I think for me, I think the first time I met, because we went to see you with Shay. I went, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
Oh,
saw her sister, and I thought, okay, her big sister.
and it was 4 years older than I was. Oh, she's 4 years older than I am. That was my thing. So I was like, oh, she's nice. Can you imagine?
So I did not even look at me one bit, and because her sister, I thought, oh, okay, she's nice. Then I think it was subsequent times we went to visit.
I remember.
Tell
So
me.
after then, don't cut this part out. After then, I saw him on campus.
No.
No. Wait. He saw me on campus and he was like, "Hi," and I was like, no recollection because there were a lot of guys at that time throwing themselves. I was like, so it was like,
To me, lots of guys train themselves at you. Oh God, lucky for some.
I was like, who is this one? So it was like, and of course he looked offended. He was like, you can't remember me. I came to your house yesterday. I was like, yesterday, yeah, but I'm sure I can't remember your name. And it was like, Tunji.
So I thought you was faking it.
So he said Tunji, and then of course we started talking from them, and then talking from then, and then he'll come and visit, and then we became really really good friends because as it was really
But
very
you were
quickly.
dating someone then.
Was I dating someone then?
Good.
Oh, let's delete that part out.
Yeah.
I was dating someone then, but so Senior was just my friend, and then he had other guy friends. So they're just really cool guys that we could have a laugh with. And sorry, we've gone off topic, but so that was it. It was just friendship, and yes, we would kiss, and it was just like, okay, when it starts getting hot and heavy, we're like, okay, you know what, let's.
So I knew we knew where
to
draw the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I respected that. But I think we were friends.
Yes.
We really enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that Tumi took me to church, really, I really, my relationship with God and we did church together.
Okay.
So it was from the very beginning. I think it was very decent. It was nice.
It was a nice. Well, if I may say so myself, nice. Yeah. So anyway, back to your question. It was so we have that background there.
But this
so,
church girl that was still kissing, I don't understand that one.
I know. This bad boy.
No, I was yeah.
So please, you are not encouraging that.
They're not encouraging that. They just said it. They're not encouraging that. Okay.
So it was just one of those, and then of course, when the night. So apparently, to Tunji, he came on the wedding night because we were in Lagos for the wedding. So Tunji claims that we had sex. I can't remember.
Okay. So let me. I can remember.
So let's go back.
So look, the wedding night. Wedding night, as in, yes, it happened, but she was extremely uncomfortable.
Okay.
Right. And that made me, okay, you know what? If she's not enjoying it, then I'm not. As in, for me, it has to be mutually beneficial. For lack of a better expression, too. Yeah. So and I thought, okay, you know what? Let's give it time. Of course. In the morning, the sheets. Yes.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah. All that happened. Yeah. So so we knew that it had happened, but the act we were still we couldn't find ourselves. To me was very uncomfortable.
Anyway, so we came back. Please, I'm sorry that to traumatize you guys. But yeah, so but when we came back,
before you go, there's lots of questions saying, can we really not kiss? Now, what kind of kissing did you guys do? Was it just kissing on the cheek? Was it? Because now we need to deal with this because we know that one thing can lead to another. You have to have self-control before you can say, because if you don't have self-control, the truth is that you will fall. You will, things can quickly escalate.
To be honest with you, sorry, Pastor Funke, to be honest with you, I would say don't even be alone together. because we're very, very good friends first.
Yeah.
We could laugh it off and I could be like, okay, that kind of thing, because I knew that he was extremely active in that way before we got together. So I thought to myself that, what? Yes, let me just, give him a bit of, so that he doesn't run away kind of, I think, okay, this short girl. But going forward, I think that, not even, I have a friend that, who is here in this comment, and she will not even, not even stay in the same place with the guy and all that. So I would advise that when you visit each other, make sure there are other people there or you're not alone to help. So that's one thing. It's just a backstory. We're not encouraging people.
Look at your eyes. Okay. Yes. So it happened. It happened, but you were comfortable.
Yeah, but
what happens after?
So when we came back to the UK, I think she just thought, what? By the time she comes back home, she'll be more comfortable and all that. And of course, I'd gathered my bridal wares to make sure, okay, you know what, Lagos, I didn't really have them. I just took a few things. So this time around, body paint, wedding, chewable underwear, and I thought, okay, you know what? So did the dance, did the shimmy, nothing happened. Second day did the dance, did the shimmy. But I said, the Tony said, if you don't move, I don't want no dance, no shimmy, just
come as you are.
just come as you are. Don't wear anything. So but it was still associated with trauma for me. Like I was still stiffing up, I was nervous, and I thought, oh my god, I'm married, how they say I'm married late. So maybe my hymen had thickened. Please, people that have sense, please just ignore that. My hymen had thickened over time. There are all these thoughts, and it continued on and on. And of course, I would go to church then. Now people will wink and eye and say you're glowing. I'm thinking, oh, if only you knew. So so we'll do other things, but not penetration. And I think Tony got more and more frustrated, and I'll even say this. One day he said, do you want to remain a virgin forever? Is that your plan? I was thinking, so someone was like, because nothing is happening. And even though they had, we had done that in Lagos, we were just like, obviously, I can only be so patient. He was patient, and he was gentle. But I think the guy was like, and we had the conversation past weekend. I actually thought it was 3 weeks. Until he said no, it was for 6 months. So for 6 months, there was no sex. 6 months. I was like, it was not 3 weeks. And you were like, it was 6 months.
No,
So
it was such a long time that then I started getting worried.
Wow.
Yes, because I just thought, okay, this is this
it's not
is
supposed
not
to be like
normal.
this.
It's not supposed to be like this, and yeah, so we thought, you know what, we need to seek help because
6 months is a long time after yeah.
Mm. Now,
Okay. So,
I think if we hadn't been together for 10 years,
yeah.
then it's not sustainable. That won't happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But because we were friends, so we could, yeah. And then of course the making out was at another level,
Okay.
so if you know what, because we're now married,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it was sustainable. So yeah, 6 months went by.
Okay.
6 months went by.
What by this time I guess she had stopped wearing all her shimmy and all
Then you're
that.
just like, look, I can't. They won't bring those things near me. Whenever people took eyes, and I think he was just beside himself as to how long we're going to go for. So there were
Yeah,
no edible body paints, none of that. None of that was going on at that
and
time.
then of course, frustration started setting
Yeah.
in because I was like, yeah, outburst like, "Ah, come on, this is we're supposed to do this thing
Yeah.
now. Do you want to remain a virgin forever? What's happening here? As in, let's actually, there's a problem here. Houston, there's a problem. You know.
So
So of course, knowing that Pastor
Yeah.
Doc
okay.
is a gynecologist, we thought, okay, you know what? Let's go and seek help. Let's go and seek
I
help.
didn't want to go. I remember
For
Tunji,
me, didn't
because
want to go.
I was like, how am I going to talk to him? Because that's my papa. And he was like, we are going to go. And by the time he heard a medical professional,
Yeah.
and I thought, okay, and of course, because of how much I love and respect Pastor, so we went. And then when we went to Pastor, he didn't believe us. So I was like, are you joking? You haven't? And I was like, no, we haven't. And I will never forget, he turned to me and he said to me, a baby comes out of there, a whole baby. So it is a muscle, it will expand. And then that's when he said, he was just like, don't you, he said, do we not use lubrication? We didn't. So he was like, look, first of all, lubrication. Number two, relax. Make sure you're calm, make sure you're gentle, Tunji. Just take it easy with her, kind of thing. But the fact, I think talking to him and hearing him say that made me realize that, okay, that's true. That's where babies come from. Of course.
No, I want to believe that. Of course, you knew that
I
that's where
knew, but I
babies come
didn't
from,
hear.
but it just didn't change.
Just hearing it from someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
He did tell me, like, he said it's a muscle. It will and then it will expand. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I can do this now. So, and of course, by the time introducing the lubrication and of course, we'll play music. So it was really, really nice, and really nice. And then we started.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it was. Yeah, and then we started, and then of course I think Tina was we'll talk about this one later about the porn and all that. So, but yeah, so that we started. I think when we got married, I think Tunji thought, if I introduce porn, if she sees other people doing it,
Yeah.
then she will know that.
No, after we started.
Okay, that's how we started. Tunji thought,
Next phase. Okay, so we started now, right? Let's take it to the next level. Because yes, as in I was a, I was very active before, before we got together.
Okay.
And yes, like it wasn't strange to watch. In fact, if you didn't watch
So
it,
even okay, let me interrupt you.
yeah.
When you started, to me, did you start to enjoy it, or it was just
it was a performative, perfunctory
okay?
thing. So I'll
Okay.
just lie there.
Okay.
As actually, finally, now I'm doing the shot. So I'll just lie there. And Tunji was like, what the heck? And he would, and I'll be like, okay. And I'll get up and he'll be like, I said, can you not even just try? As in, just look alive. Like, And I'm like, it wasn't enjoyable. I just thought, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. We've had the sex and like, there's nothing else to it. And that's when he thought, you know what? Let me introduce, let me show her that they're different. Like Tumi Tunji bought a book on Kama Sutra. He was just like, let me just try and help this auntie, and I think I just didn't like it. I was like, no, no, mom, they're not married. So I don't want to be watching. And why are all these positions? Why is she some assaulting? I don't want any, all these funny things. I just felt a bit dirty with it.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he respectfully stopped. I was like, okay, I think he just thought to himself, this is my lot in life. And so he continued like that for a while of just lie down, just lie down, lie down. Year 1, year 2, lie down, year 3. And I think it was 4, 5 years.
Yes,
Yeah, thereabouts. So it was just a lot of, and of course, not when you're like, okay, can we not? It doesn't have to be the bed. Let's try somewhere else. I'm like, I like the bed. It's comfortable.
so it was like for me, I just thought, okay, to me wasn't because she wasn't
Yeah.
active. She hadn't discovered her sexuality,
Okay.
in a sense. And so yeah, so
Oh God, I'm
me,
trying. I'm sorry. I just try not to laugh because especially when
so
you say why is she somersaulting?
No, this
no, so
position.
so
What are
so I
you
thought, you
doing?
know what? Let me look. You're supposed to
Yeah.
enjoy this thing, yeah,
Yeah.
right? Let me show you how it is. Of course, I had because yes, I was exposed to porn and all that. So I was thinking, you know what? This is how it's supposed to be, and you're supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But of course, to me, rejected it. In retrospect, I'm happy she did because it it's
Yeah.
not healthy.
Yeah.
And going through the journey now, the
Yeah.
way God has taken us through the journey of discovering ourselves naturally,
Yeah.
right? Has it's porn is perversion.
Yeah.
It's all an act,
Yeah.
um, and introducing it into your marriage
Yeah.
would corrupt.
What
It
God said.
would corrupt a good thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So she rejected it, and yeah, I just thought, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're condemned to this bland activity. Because for me, if you love someone,
Yeah.
as a guy, if you love someone, you want the person to feel pleasure as
Yeah.
well. It's not a one-sided thing. So I wasn't enjoying
Yeah.
it because she wasn't enjoying it.
Mm,
Bottom
mm,
line.
mm,
So
mm,
we
mm.
and that's where we were for a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few years. And
And
then
like one who's just said, I really love this. I first of all, I want to say I appreciate you guys for being honest and what one who's just said. You talked about this porn about porn and condemning it so that other people will not try. Don't even go there. That's what you're saying, Tunji.
Yep. Yep.
Don't even go there. So thank you so much. I mean, we haven't finished, but I really need to let you guys know that I appreciate your vulnerability. Seriously, I know to me you're probably blushing under that skin, but thank you. This is going to help someone. Okay,
yeah.
so thank you. Continue.
So as time went on, like after the 4, 5 years, Tunji found this lady on you. I think he's always on finding this
So
lady.
I was yes.
Because
Tunji always says,
he was the one that.
I was, I thought, look, this is not how it's supposed to be,
and I need to
right?
show you that it's not.
And I just thought, okay, but because I thought she didn't know, and rightly so, she didn't know, right? So I just wanted to show her that, look, this thing is supposed to be
Mm,
amazing, right?
mm, mm.
So you have to, as in, let's just, so
Try.
I was on a journey of trying to help her to discover her sexuality,
Yeah,
right? And so, okay, so porn off limits, no wala.
yeah,
Right. Let's look for something else. We tried books.
yeah,
It was, they're not really practical. They were not really
Practical
practical,
for us.
right,
yeah,
for us,
yeah.
right? Then I found this lady on YouTube. It looked decent enough,
So we,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so there was this lady on YouTube, and I think when he brought it, I was like, oh, for the Lord, not that video. But she was fully clothed. She was a sex therapist. She had a clinic.
Okay,
Um, and the person she was with was her partner. They were both fully dressed.
okay,
And it was so educational the way she was describing this. She was like, okay, so you put your leg here, then you put your, so it was very, you couldn't imagine it sexual. It wasn't sensual. It was just, okay, so if I put my leg here, this will happen. Okay, if I push, so it was a lot of like play by play on how to, as in how you rock for it was, so there were different positions.
yeah.
And I thought, okay, and she was my size, she was voluptuous. I was like, okay, I think this woman, she was extremely gorgeous. And the guy did not even look like, he was just looking like she was like he was a dummy. Like she was just moving him. So there was nothing about her. In fact, I've seen her she had degrees, and she had, I think she hadn't written a book at that time. So I thought, okay, let's try it. And
It
it was
works with.
So it wasn't only the
Yeah,
physical, right? She also spoke about your mental,
Mm.
and how, you know, she had to feel sexy. She had to. Do you
okay,
understand? It's not just a physical thing. It's an emotional and, and a mental thing as well,
yeah.
right? So she addressed that as well.
Yes, you did.
So
Mm,
so
mm.
for to me there was a shift,
Right,
and
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, the first I was like, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about.
So it was like the lights came on.
Yeah.
Literally, the
See
light.
all
So
these
it was
people
like,
that said they only joined this live because they had sex and it's like they have to come. Please.
so yeah, it was no, honestly, there was a shift,
Okay.
a massive shift, and I think, how many years had we been married by then?
I think we said five,
5 years.
5, 6 years.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
had,
5 years. Yeah.
because Kishi was born.
Yes, yes, yes. Do you know?
No, oh,
Yes.
Kishi born.
Yes.
No.
Eureka moment.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So
And
there was a shift. So it was like, even though we've been married for quite a while,
Yeah.
right? It was like a new chapter had opened, and it
Mm.
was like we just got married,
yes,
because it was amazing.
amazing. It was really good. And I think it was just me thinking, oh my god, this is what he's been talking about. As in, it's really good, really good. So well, sorry, I keep saying really, really good. I think I'm just remembering how it was like an awakening. That's how
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
It was like an awakening, and the fact that I just, okay, let's look at the other styles. Yeah. I was like, okay,
So
and then
yeah,
the fact that like it doesn't have to be
experimenting.
experimenting, and then the fact that it didn't have to be
People
in
that
one
ask,
place.
sorry. Okay. What did you learn? Because waiting shift to what God, these people. See them after they'll talk. I'm sure they won't mind sharing the book and
And
the, yeah, you can share later. Okay, go on.
okay, and I think it was, like I said, it was I think video was like, each video was about
Ah!
10, 15 minutes. Oh my god.
Daily, daily.
So yeah, the fact that it could be, in different places, I think it was just that I was not very tribal. I think also, someone that looked like me, and the fact that she was medical, she had her degrees and practice, and it was just, this is what you do. And it was, I'm very visual, so I think also seeing that play by play, and it made it so much easier. And yeah, so it got easier for, I think I was now more open. The more I enjoyed it, the more I was open. Of course, within reason. I'm not saying, like within reason, it was like, okay, what else do you have for me? Kind of. And I'm open to try. And of course, Tony then was like, because I have been the one doing all the work for the past 5 years.
Yes, yeah.
I'll just kill me. I'm not doing
You're in
anything.
charge now.
You are in
Yeah.
charge.
So it was like she found her sexuality, and I think the what we're trying to communicate here is that I knew that she wasn't there yet. I was patient,
Okay.
right? But not just, I was seeking for her, for a solution for her.
Okay.
So for me as well, it was, besides bringing in practical things to help, right? I was also working on her mentally,
Okay.
yes, like
He'll be like,
So
telling her that,
what sort
look,
of things? Yeah.
as in
always affirming.
affirming, letting her know that, look, you are amazing. I love your body. You're beautiful. You know, making her feel sexy,
Desirable. Yeah.
desired,
Yeah. Yeah.
Desire, right?
desired. So she got really comfortable with herself, and for me, it was, yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. You have, it's a commitment. You need to
Yeah.
work at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't, look, I've I'm a guy, I've got
Yeah.
friends, I travel a lot on business.
Yeah.
So I see both worlds, the way things are in Nigeria, and the way things are in the
Yeah.
UK. Society is different,
Yeah.
right? And if you live in this, if there's societies where the man is, he's meant to have uh side chicks,
I'll get it outside if it's not. If
or
I spider.
extramarital affairs is accepted. But for me, I think for me, I I I no, I grew up, I came from a broken home. My parents were, they divorced quite early.
Okay.
And my father left my mom for a woman.
Yeah.
As in, yeah.
Man, oh, like, where else can this
No,
go?
no, because he okay. So we lived. My dad was a gynecologist. He trained in the UK, so we all grew up here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So while we're quite young, I think I was about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
One day he came home and said, "How would you feel if you had a white stepmom?" And I was thinking, oh, because he was away. He was always, we were in Birmingham and he was in Barnsley, in the hospital they're training. And he met a nurse, and it happened. So, and ultimately he married her and left my
Wow.
mom for her. And so the emotional impact on me,
Yeah.
growing up, I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to do that to my child. I knew that my grandfather as well was quite active. He had so many wives and all that. And I thought, okay, maybe it's a family thing, right? So I was already aware that, look, I don't want to go down that road. So I had to consciously, I had to consciously decide that it's not going to happen to me. So even so of course I've got, it's in Nigeria, it is okay.
Yeah.
And you hear ladies, say, what, as long as he's not bringing them home, or he's not, so it was okay. And so for the madam at home,
Yeah.
she could, yeah, stay in your limbo of not really finding your sexuality, because those girls outside were crazy and wild. So I've been in conversations where with my friends, and they're talking about the misses, and they're saying, oh, you know what, in fact, I don't get aroused when I'm, because they're getting it outside with all these little young girls that are wild.
Okay, well,
In a sense, no, you hear some things and you're like, okay,
So
so it,
so how do you cope? Because you travel a lot,
yeah.
Tunji. How do you cope when you go to Nigeria? What do you do? What are the things you put
Okay,
in place?
so for me, I think okay, Pastor Agu, there was a mandate conference that I attended, and Pastor Agu was talking about, the way he's coped, because the truth is, he said, we as men, we need to be intentional. If you know that you've got a weakness somewhere, you need to put things in
Yeah.
place. So what I did, consciously, I used to stay in a hotel, a boutique hotel in Ikoyi, and after, when I thought, the pressure was getting a bit, I was
Too
getting vulnerable because I was doing longer stays away. And some weekends you're tired, you don't want to work. I used to work all through, but with the longer stays, I just thought, some weekends you're bored, you're thinking you're missing home, all that. So I just thought, you know what? To checkmate myself, I'll do up a room in my mother's house. So
okay.
did up a room. The company paid for it, and I moved in with my mom in Yaba. So that, because of course I'll never bring a woman home. My mom stays at home.
Yeah.
Yes, I if I sleep out. In fact, if I'm out at 11 o'clock, she'll be calling me and say, "Where are you? You need to come back home. This is not the UK. Oh,
Mm,
Nigeria is dangerous." All that. So that actually put me in check. And after I lost my dad in 2020, the the re, the reality hit me that, look, parents are getting old and they will die one
yeah.
day. My dad had gone, so I moving in with my mom, I started. I just thought, you know what, I will, if when I'm when I'm if I want to go out to the movies, I go with my mom. If I
Wow.
want to go out on
Wow.
go out for a meal, try out the restaurant, I go in. So I started
Wow.
building those memories, and
Wow.
and yeah, she became my girlfriend in court. So it was from, and it was healthy. I could still pray at home to me in the
Wow.
mornings. So it was home away from home, and I could cope.
Mm,
To me, will call her and say, please feed him salads only. He's on a diet, all that. So
oh,
that's the way that's what I put in place.
wow.
And yeah,
Thank God.
it's saved me. I
Wow.
believe. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well done. Wow. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Gosh.
Sorry, I wanted to mention that I remember there was a time that, because I was talking about how, I'm not saying sex brings people closer, but when it says a man's supposed to cleave to his wife,
Yeah.
I get that, especially in marriage, or not especially in marriage. So I think earlier on when we had twins, and we lost one of the twins, and I remember that somebody had, kindly, from place of, kindness, had said, this might affect your marriage. You guys might actually break up or divorce based on how, homes get broken up when,
When you're grieving,
when
that
you're
you might
grieving,
not break up.
you might not
The
grieve, the
relationship might not.
relationship might not survive it, and people grieve in different ways. So, just be careful about, doing, just be careful about everything.
Mm,
And I remember thinking, oh my goodness. So I went to you thinking, oh my God, we lost our child, and they've told me that, my break us up. And I kid you not, we had the most and best sex of our life. I think we're having, even though it was not, I've not discovered the lady then, but we're having sex very often. And I still think that, men, the way we're having sex, don't let people think that these people planned this child's death, because it brought us closer. We were at it all the time, and around that time. So it kind of brought us closer. And not that kind of, it did.
It did.
It
It
as
did.
in, it
It
really,
did.
really helped
It did.
us and all of that. So I think, I know that, God designed this for closeness, for relationship, for
yeah.
to
Yeah.
just help, married couples. And I know that I think we're going to talk about sex drive,
Yes.
soon. But yeah, I think it really helped us. Yeah.
So I think if you look at the design, for
Yeah.
me, God he's amazing. And when he designed marriage, because marriage is his construct,
Mm-hmm.
right? He put sex in there, and for a reason.
Yeah.
And if you know uh, personally, when the Bible it says that a man will leave his father and mother, and he will cleave
Please.
cleave. What does cleave mean?
Mm.
He will bond with his
Yeah.
wife, and two of them will become one flesh.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's and I think sex within that construct makes that happen. It's
Mm,
like a
mm,
catalyst,
mm. Yeah.
because it's not just physical. I think God designed us in such an amazing way. We're not just physical beings, we're spiritual beings as well.
Yes.
So we're we've got the body, the spirit, and the soul.
Yeah.
And in that construct, the bonding through sex is not just a physical thing, it's emotional, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Right. But the world has polluted it
Yeah.
in such a horrible way. It's the devil always tries to destroy or pervert the beautiful things of God. I if you look at the Songs of Solomon, the way God, or shall I say, yes, the word is God inspired.
Yes.
So I think it was
Yes.
the way it talks about sex.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is interesting, as in for the Bible, right? And so it shows that it's God's design.
Yes.
And but one thing that it always puts in there is that do not, and he said this I think in 2 or 3 places. He says, don't awaken love
Before.
until the time is right.
Yes. Yes.
Until the
Yeah.
time is right,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be fiery. It's supposed to cleave you to the person. And yeah, it's, and for us, the
Yeah.
the emotional connection that it allowed, or shall I say it fostered between both of us, got us through the grieving, because we were really grieving.
Yeah.
It was a dark time. But then when I look back now, I'm thinking, why were we at it all the time?
At that time.
It helped.
Yeah.
It helped. But it wasn't intentional. It just happened like that. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think it's part of the design.
Yeah.
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 Thank God.
So just one more thing before we move on. I said I was talking to a friend of mine when this conversation came up, and she said something very, for me, well, not it was profound, but it was just, as she said, some women or wives just, probably lie down there and just let the guy do what he wants to do because you think sex is being done to you. It's two people being active. Like when I saw it, she was like, it's not done to you. You are doing to each other. It's an active. So that whole let me just and let's get it over and let's get it over with. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an active participation. So it was just her saying that made me like, okay, that's true. I never saw it that way, in my days of lying down. But yes, I never saw it that way. But yes.
No, so I think, just to buttress what you said, from a guy's perspective,
Yeah.
it's I think it's when your partner is not getting the same fulfillment, it doesn't give you fulfillment. Right. So, I love to see how Tumi reacts and all that, because then it makes me feel like, yeah, I'm the guy. It's part. And so so if in a marriage, the wife is not act if she's not excited about it, if she's not adventurous with it, if she's not um invested
In it. Yeah.
you won't get it's the benefit, the beauty of what God has made. You won't get the fullness of it. It's just like you've got a Ferrari, that can do 0 to 100 in like 3 seconds. It's a machine, right? And then you're driving it like driving Mrs. Daisy. You're doing, you're not getting the best of
Best
it.
of it.
And yeah, so women, but the truth is, it's two ways. The man has to encourage that.
Yes.
We're designed differently. I
Yeah.
think women are extremely complicated.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't use the word. I wouldn't use the word complicated.
They're not
No. I wouldn't use the word complicated. I think because we're more emotional. Like Sonia knows that if she upsets me, when I was like that, because I need to be happy and I need to put my just and but with him it's just like having like a disagreement is totally different from sex. Like one does not have to do with the other. It doesn't matter if we're finished just fighting. as long as okay, let's get. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not feeling it. I'm not happy with you. So he does all this. Like he does the laundry. We're not. Don't mind. We're not complicated. He does the laundry. He does the laundry. He tidies up the house. He cooks. He sorts out the girls. And then to me, I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god, definitely this is gonna happen. Like so he's very intentional or purposeful about making sure that I'm feeling it and I'm all good. And of course when he comes, he's like, are we getting down tonight? And I'm like, of course we are. That kind of thing. So it's makeup. Yes, they say makeup sex, but when I'm upset, let's finish talking about the matter at hand. You have upset me. I always think that's for the movies, but yeah, some people are able to disassociate that as well. But no, yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, but saying that, we all know that the drive might be different for each party. So sometimes the sex drive is higher with the man, and something. So how do you guys? Or for both of you, is it the same?
No.
Do you have the same?
I think that I think it will be an ideal world where people who have the same sex drive get
Yeah.
married. Where if it's low, it's low, and then everybody's like, "What is people talking about? It's okay." And then those that high can jump on each other. But I
Jump on the
think I can speak from
chandelier.
I'll just swing from the chandelier.
Oh,
So I
swing
think
from a chandelier.
for
Somebody
me,
actually wrote a book like that, how to make your wife swing from
swing
the.
from
I think, yeah,
really.
I have it somewhere. Yeah.
I've never heard that before. So I think for me, in the past, long time ago, I was one of those. If it comes once every month, look, let's just. But Tunji, if it's 3 times a day, he's okay. Sorry, I don't want to put you on blast. But I think for Tunji, he has a much higher,
Put
as
him
in
on blast.
much higher. Like I remember there was one time Tunji was unwell. He had malaria, and I was like, oh my god. And he was like, are we guess? I was like, but you have malaria. How? I can't even in the midst of the malaria with your temperature up. How are you thinking about sex? So that's when I realized he's that way inclined. So for me, meeting in the middle. So it's not like
Yeah, so we
we
I
meet
think
in
what we did was we agreed
we
that okay,
agreed.
you know what?
Yeah.
One day off, one
One
day
day on,
off.
one day off. We actually agreed. One day off, one day on. One day off for you, one day off for me. So, in a week, that's how it is.
So we reached a compromise.
We need to take on. I think also to introduce this fun thing. It might not be to everyone's taste, but when he started, it used to annoy me, but I enjoyed it after a while. He can be like, okay, so you can we drop the kids in school and all that. Like, if I come back, we're having sex. And then, you owe me. You owe me. Oh, okay then. So it was always a trade-off of I'm doing it's my that's amazing. So one day I was like, when I'm not a prostitute, what's all this? But after a while, a fun thing. So when he does something amazing, I'm like, yeah. Tonight's the night. As in, just do this one thing for me. I promise you'll be singing when I'm done with you. So I think it helped us to make it fun as well. So just, have all this.
That helps.
Yeah.
Well,
So
listening to both of you, I think what has helped is the fact that you guys are friends. You can tell you guys are good friends.
Yeah, so he's a cool guy. So I think I'll say meeting in the middle. Like, and I've had friends that have said, maybe the guy's like once every 3 months, or once, has someone that said, once every 2 months, and the guy is happy. So if it's the guy that has the, lower sex drive, or whoever it is that has the, I think also speaking to experts, I think we have
Yeah,
experts here. So from
yeah,
therapists to sex therapists to, because I'm very visual and more so, some people might want to read books, but just being vulnerable enough to get that help. Imagine if we hadn't spoken to Pastor Shala and we had, he's getting for. So talk to people and be vulnerable now because we're adults, and it happens more than people know. It happens more when you're thinking. So sometimes that the guys might be the one thinking, I want anybody looking at me funny. It happens more than we know. So I would think that, seeking help, asking experts, like Tony was saying, if you're sick, you go to the doctor. If you have a tooth problem, you go to the dentist. Find a therapist or a sex therapist. There are Christian sex therapists I hear out there, and that you can even if it's online. So thank God we have Zoom now that we can speak to and all that, because we were just blessed that was Pastor Shola start with, and then the sex therapist lady, and since then it's just experimenting. So it's been so I would say
It's been a journey.
it has, and the thing about it, yes, it has been a journey. And I think that for us, I thought as we got older, because I was telling my mom, she just thinks, oh my god, she's foolish. Things that we're both, and I don't even know how she knows because she's in Nigeria, and I can't remember last time I saw her. So maybe when Twinkie is passing by, I'm on the phone with her on a video call. I touch him or he touches me, or we look at each other, and she's like, well, so one day he had walked away, and she was like to me, Roral.
Please translate in English for
Sorry,
those who
it
don't
means that you
understand.
have to be careful. It's not food. You will age. You age so fast because because this sex act that you're doing, and I'm like, you don't even see us. I see the way you look at each other. You just get old. By the time he uses your whole body.
Mom is wrong. You, in fact, you make you look younger.
So I thought that, so I was expecting to start looking older. Do you understand? And I was like, no, and it's more enjoyable. It's better than ever before. And if, well, of course, with menopause and hormonal, and I'm taking my vitamins, exercise is amazing because you're fitter,
Yes,
So
yes,
all
yes.
of that exercise, whether it's walking, whatever it is, taking the right vitamins. I found this because I used to feel that past time I knew my body had changed because I just didn't have energy for anything. But I discovered these vitamins and or this medication, and I've been taking it, and I feel amazing. Whenever he's like, I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, really, these days you very. I said, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I feel
you're
like agile.
somersaulting more
I'm
now.
somersaulting more and all of that. So yes. So yes. So yeah, I think I was surprised that yeah, flexibility, Pilates,
Yes.
love it, flexibility and all that. So I think, seeking help when necessary, not being, if it happens to a lot of people, more than people
Yeah.
know. And it's much more enjoyable. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. It's been really, really good. So
Ah. I, what you guys have said is true. People need to discover that it is a beautiful gift from God. And if you're struggling in any way, shape, or form, please seek help. Like Tumi has said, let's try and answer some questions.
okay.
Do you think your Christian upbringing prepared you for sex in marriage?
No, fam. No.
I was telling Sunny, and I was like, I don't, because Sunny believes science is what maybe affects sex drive. He's like, okay, the science of it, people's bodies. I'm like, when we're growing up, first of all, as a girl, and then even more so as a Christian, it's be demure, be mindful,
Yeah,
be
yeah,
Christian, be as in don't even do just, and even guys, because that's what guys are wired that, oh my god, guys are encouraged to explore their sexuality, they're encouraged to sow their oats, they find themselves quickly. I'm not saying that we should do that before marriage. I'm just saying that the women you're kept quiet. You are not supposed to have these thoughts or these feelings or this. That means you're loose or you're
yeah,
wild or you're
yeah,
so you don't find yourself early. You don't even just like you don't have that.
Discover
You
your
don't discover.
sexuality.
You don't discover your
mm,
sexuality. You don't think about anything about that. So it's like you're not supposed to just if they touch. Yeah, if they touch you, you get pregnant. So
yes,
you're not supposed to
yes,
just meet this guy at age 20 something. Yeah,
Know what to
and
do.
then know what to do. As in, just turn it
mm,
on like that. Meanwhile,
mm,
guys are they've. I'm not saying that the act has to happen, but their minds are free. It's like
yeah,
they been given permission to feel all these
yeah,
things and child things. So I think for me, it's just that
Experimental.
and
Yeah.
and find out for my daughter now, and she talks about this thing they call pishi, and they're teaching our kids things about, she's coming home asking about masturbation. They've told them it is normal. As in fact, before you start feeling the thing, just start touching yourself, and you just start finding
In
out what
school.
in school. Like you don't have to tell your parents first of all if you want to get fitted with some form of
wow, they're teaching them
relationship.
that at
Yeah,
school.
yeah, and then also in fact you don't have to feel anything. Just start touching yourself. Touch,
Wow.
and when you start feeling, you know it, but just start touching yourself.
So how do
Those are
you guys have to
oh
deal with that and
yeah,
correct her?
sometimes. Oh
Definitely.
yeah, so but that's the thing of creating that safe
Yeah.
space at home to have those conversations. So of course I'm talking to her about sex. I know as if I instigated, she just came to me and said, okay,
This is what they said
this is
in
what they said
school.
at school. So you and daddy, how do you cope with it? Do you masturbate? And then so the questions are
Wow.
coming one at the other, and I'm thinking, Jesus, help me, Jesus, Jesus. And they're coming fast and furious, and she wants to know all these things. And I'm like, okay, so how often do you guys do it? And did you wait on that? And I'm just like,
Wow.
okay, here we go. And having that conversation. So I think for yes, as Christian parents, those conversations have to come
Yes.
and
Yes,
yes,
they have to. And it's better that they come from you
exactly.
than
So
from
imagine, having that conversation to say, they're telling them that porn is okay.
mm,
Like, as in, how else would you know that is? And I think for them, they are thinking, okay, let's try and save them. Let them not get pregnant. So let's fit them up with this contraception. Let's tell them how it is. Let's give them all this information. They don't get pregnant and spoil their lives. But some people, so they're sending links of porn to one another and I'm like, so you
wow.
have to get. And so just have that safe space and those conversations with because yes, there's no sex education like that. So it's just what the school has told them, has said to them.
Because
So
parents
will not have
will not have
that
that
conversation.
conversation.
So having that conversation, let you handle that. As in, when first I was thinking, but you're doing GCSE mock, auntie. Should you have talked to me about GCSE mock? Why are we talking about this sex matter? But that was what was as important because they have laid it thick on them. She came home and we had the conversation, and it's a continuous. Every time she comes, she's like, "Mom, can we talk more about sex?" I'm like, "Of course we can." See that I know. So we have those conversations, and I let her know that it's very comfortable. As in, you know what, honey, this is what it is. This is, and it's like, oh, when did you first have, those kind of conversations. I'm just saying that creating that environment for the safe
Yeah.
space, having those conversations early.
And we, because the schools will teach them the ways of
The world, yeah.
but it's to realign it with our values as Christians,
Yeah.
and what God says about it, and why, the beauty that, what sex is and His design for it,
Don't make it taboo.
and so it's important that we realign, change the paradigm,
Yes.
and put it in the Christian, so that they understand it. But I think what's most important is, Tumi's
My mom.
relationship with the girls. They're free to express themselves. They can have those conversations so easily. They always have their, okay, you and me time.
Okay.
Go to the mall, or just you and me, and then they can talk. So that fosters the bond, and then they can share.
Yeah.
So what I encourage is that, as parents, there are probably a number of parents here, mothers with their daughters and fathers with their sons. You have to allow them feel that it's safe for them to ask any kind of question, and it's important, or the world will shape their view.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just
Absolutely. Okay. I think if you guys have any questions, please put it in the question
Can I
box, or Tinika, can you put up the Slido link for those who may not want to put it in the question box on Instagram? Tinika will put it up on this.
Geography teacher. Ooh.
So what I think, just adding a little to what Tumi said earlier.
Yeah.
There's some customs in Nigeria where they actually prepare the ladies.
Yes.
Oh my
goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I was telling you about that because another friend, put me onto that. And she was like, some parts of the house, like houses, they have those conversations. They give them aphrodisiacs. They prepare them because, of course, maybe because some of them are polygamous.
The Hausas generally
are very.
The Muslim men have more than one wives.
Not all of them.
No, so a good number.
No.
It's okay in Islam to have more than one
I know
wife.
that, but I'm just saying that the whole point of it was they prepare the girls and how to be sexually available to their husbands or please their husbands and all of that.
Please their husbands, because you want to be the one who gives the guy the wicked and wild, so that you're the favored wife. Do you understand?
In their custom, yes.
In their custom. So they teach them, right? Like the Calabars teach their daughters as well how to cook and how to please. So it's not every Yorubas are a bit more, and some other tribes are a bit more, demure when it comes to sexuality. But then if you are living in a culture where there's competition, one man and 3 wives, the mothers will teach their daughters how to please their husbands, so that that wife or the girl is favored. It's like in the Bible, we're talking the other day about Esther. When she was in the haram, or what do they call the harem, right? What were they must have been teaching them how to ensure that they please, they're able to please the king and all that. So training is put in there, right? But there's a lot of cultures that women enter into marriage and they don't even they don't know their sexuality. And then, of course, where the men are not Christians and they're able, and they go out to and they have girlfriends and
No, but even the
mistresses.
yeah.
The mistresses know that in order to keep him coming, she needs to be amazing. So she's discovered herself, and then she's rocking his world outside. And then for him, the wife at home is a chore. I just have to, because she's not.
And but not only that,
She's not able
I
to.
think
Yeah.
also this is just thoughts, by the way, they're not opinions of. I think also the men are also conditioned to think that, like, if she's, even if she's pleasing and some assaulting in the air, if you get tired, just there's always somebody outside. If you, I think so. Men and women have to both, boys and
Be
girls,
trained.
have to be trained
Yeah.
as well. Because if you think, it's accepted, accepted in where I come from, then everyone's just going to do what they want to
Yeah.
do. So I think that it's not because the woman was not, so the poor man being starved has to now go out.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
get it.
Yeah, but the truth is, if we're looking at, look, we're Christians
Mm.
here, so we're looking at, okay, the Christian guy who's got a wife that hasn't discovered her sexuality, and he's, of course, the temptations, everything, meets a girl outside, and then he's getting it outside.
Why is he getting something?
No,
Why is he
hold on
outside?
now. No, so I'm saying, yeah,
He
he's a
should not
Christian
be
guy.
getting it
These things
outside.
happen.
But we know, no,
No,
but
these things happen.
to me, I understand what Tunji is saying, because these things do happen.
Happen.
He
These
should
things
not be
happen.
getting it.
He
Yeah.
shouldn't be getting
Yeah.
it outside,
Shouldn't be
right?
looking to
But
get it.
he shouldn't even be looking. But these things happen. I'm talking reality, because I've got friends that are Christians, but things are happening outside. And but
Who's your friend?
no, hold on. Look, it's so. I think the bottom line is, for guys, right? The commitment to help the wife, to
Yeah.
be patient,
Yeah.
because love is patient,
Yeah.
love is kind,
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
Yeah.
journey.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to
Commit.
go that journey with her. And to be honest, that's what we did. And it's I look back now, and no regrets. I'm excited about the things we will discover this year, and the things we will
So
discover
you got
next year.
plans for this
Because
year?
every year since then has been, once when Tumi discovered herself, it's been amazing. Really, it's yeah, no regrets at all.
That's so sweet.
And somebody
Okay.
asked a question about sex drive. Sorry, I think I saw it was. I think it was right at the top. So I don't want to leave any time. Maybe this
Let
is
me
a good
see
question.
about sex drive. Let me
Yeah.
see any question.
Oh my God, we've been on for 1 hour 60 minutes.
I can't see.
Okay.
If you're the one that asked the question about sex drive, please repost it or put it in the question box. That's why, if you've got any questions, please put it in the question box. That arrow that's got the question mark. There's another question. Okay, this is asking. Okay, there's one asking about the vitamins you're taking, to me, and then a question: Did you have a fear of sex because you were a virgin? Is that why you were?
Yes.
Okay.
Number one. And yes, that's all I'll say. Let me keep it. There's another reason, but I'll keep that to myself. But yes, anatomy and virgin and being a virgin. Yes.
To me, why don't you trust Tunji?
I just well, this can you not hear all this his friends talk about? My friends are talking. My friends are talking. Wait,
No,
which
but
friends are talking? Why are you with these friends that are talking about? What's on their names after this one?
so you can blacklist all of
Okay.
them. I know myself. I'm good with myself.
Now, the other question, which I think is also very important, as we posted by Pastor Ruth, she said, how can both of you, with the information that you have now and the experience that you have now, how can you intentionally help the younger generation? And it's true.
Good question.
I didn't think about the younger generation. I can't lie.
Okay, so we found the question.
I think
How do women with higher, we'll come back to that. How do women with higher sex drive deal with a husband with a lower one, as per the husband is meant to lead and not interested? Okay. Thank you, Bawali.
Okay, we're talking about it earlier. I think because I wasn't aware that Tunji was also praying about it. So I think because
that's true.
I think that we forget that everything about us concerns God. I don't want to be overly spiritual or religious, but prayer. Because for us to the way for 6 months he was praying about it, because it was like he was gentle, he was patient, but also with prayer, because like you said, the man is meant to lead. We say the man is meant to lead. And if a man has lower sexual, nobody wants to be announcing that or look like, okay, you know what, there's something wrong with me. So praying about it, that he's open to whatever it is, whatever that will, not that he always has to lead. I think there's some areas that guys are good at, there are areas that women are good at. So you lead in whichever area, because now how whichever area you're good at, you're the one leading. In fact, so you would be like, oh yeah, lead me and let me follow, because you're good at that. You're good in that area. I don't want to carry all this load myself. So I think that men don't even have to lead sexually, because if that is your area of expertise, you know. But I think if the guy is not willing, the prayer bit, and I really am not being spiritual about it. I think committing it to God, and because, like he said, he created sex, he created this bond and this union. So it's just that kind of, you know what, God, let him be open to this, you know, open to it, and whether it's to seek help or to, even if you have to find out all the information, so that way you're just like, okay, you know what, even if it's to find out information and then show it to him, but that prayer that, you know what, whatever it is I say, let it be like, you know, like let it be like a sweet, you know, that kind of, let him receive it. So I think the praying about it, because it is really a sensitive subject, you know, and not make him think that he has a lower sex drive and you are the problem. No, it's just that we need to have, this thing is an amazing thing, and I would love to do with you.
And like Favored B just said, also to rule out medical condition.
Yes.
Rule out, you know, that he's not addicted to porn or something like that.
So so just praying about it, and that, so whichever way you choose. So if we can be like, okay, want to see someone, pray about it. As in, I think it really helps.
So I think, just to buttress what Tumi said, yes, we pray, but then solutions come after the prayer. So it's the wisdom to discern what's the root cause, what's the issue, right? And then, of course, when you identify what it is, solutions. Solutions. But you know, it's both couple have to commit that, okay, you know what, we love each other. This is a gift from God for the marriage, right? It's supposed to foster, you know, that unity, that bond and all that, right? So we will commit to finding a solution. So we make the best of it.
But like you said, if the husband is not interested, I think prayer is still.
So yes, I mean, you're committing to a solution. So if you're praying about it, you're committing to a solution, right? Then then you start to look for answers. So you have to actively, intentionally look for what. And I think communication also works. You have to
And the way you
if you're married, you have to be vulnerable. You need to be able to communicate. Say, you know what? This doesn't do it for me. I you know, I like this. And then the wife too would have to see how she can, you know,
the husband, whichever,
sorry, or whoever would have to, you know, adjust accordingly. And if it's something that is weird or whatever, then you pray about it and
talking. I think but I like he's always saying that I can be quite aggressive during the actors. Don't do this like this, do it like this. So he's always like,
after she found herself,
I'm like, no, do this, you know. So I think for me, it's also the how we also say things, and how, you know, communicate, how you communicate what it is. Like talking to him, also communicating what it is that you, as long taking him along or carrying him along, whatever it does. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much. Now people want to know, they want to be the tiger. Oh God, please. When next I see you guys, I'm going to go like that. This too. Oh my goodness. People want to know. There's so many things, and you can send them to me and I'll post them. But the vitamins that you take that are helping you, the resources, you know, the woman you talked about, the videos and all of that. So if you can provide us with all of that, we'll appreciate that, so we can share with the followers, and that will probably help other people. Yep. Last word for anyone struggling now. Tumi and Tunji, last word before we go. And you guys have been simply amazing.
Thank you.
If you've got any question, someone did ask, I don't know whether I hope it's not going to go against Instagram rules. We need a master class from you, Tumi. Yes, I agree, Collier, with the vitamins. Speak with your doctors before taking, because
Yes, yes.
that's so important. What was I going to say? Yeah, one of the questions was about what about sex toys to add some variety? No.
Look, it's not. No one says it's, if it's your thing, fine,
Yeah.
right? If it's between both of you, it
Okay.
works. But we haven't discovered that yet. Maybe next, maybe next time. But we haven't. But the truth is, it's a journey, and we need to understand that it's a journey that started from, to me, being, not comfortable, to her discovering, and then she discovers, and then we together were like, you know what? Then later the master now becomes the student, because then she's thinking.
Woo!
So it's been a journey, and it's been an amazing journey. But it takes two people have to commit.
Yeah.
You have to commit, saying that you will make it work.
Yeah.
Because it's important.
Yeah.
It's important. Some people just, oh, you know what, sex for procreation. It is not just for having babies. It's a gift.
Yeah.
For that union.
Yeah.
And it fosters exactly the design of you cleaving together emotionally, spiritually, mentally, everything. And it takes work. Every good thing, you need to work at it.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
So I don't know about the sex toys. We haven't discovered. I don't know whether that is.
So we haven't gone there,
Yeah.
but no one. If it's husband and wife, and it's your thing, then it's fine.
No,
I think
we'll
it's.
see. Maybe
I
the
think
next
so.
episode we'll tell you. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I mean, like somebody said, we should have another more discussions about it, because I'm sure there's still some questions that people haven't asked. So if you want us to come back to talk more about this thing, send me some questions, and we'll probably get to me and maybe another couple, or maybe one of the therapists to come to talk about this. But it probably won't be, because if we want to go deeper, it will not be Instagram Live. We'll do Zoom. Oh my God,
I love it. I love it.
Potential you.
I love it. I think somebody asked them
You
about.
people are just corrupting me.
I think somebody asked a question about what we want to do for the younger generation.
Yes, yes.
To be honest with you, I could come up here and say some spiel or give some spiel. I have no clue. I was thinking about the younger generation.
No. To be honest, right? I think it's us having this conversation is a start.
Yes.
It is a
I
start.
agree.
It's almost seen as a taboo topic.
Yeah.
To me, got calls. People saying, "Oh my God, why are you discussing this?" Right? But it is important,
It
and
is.
there's nothing.
Oh wow. It's very
Nothing.
important.
There's nothing wrong with sex.
No.
At least I believe from God's perspective.
Yes.
Right. So let's not stigmatize it. Right. It's okay for women to be sexy.
Yeah.
Right. It's okay for you to find your sexuality, but it's timing.
Yes.
It's all about timing, and that's why the Songs of Songs says that wait till the right time to ignite your. Yeah, so there's a time for it.
Yes.
Not before you get married, right? And then you've got all your whole life together to discover.
Yeah.
So, and once both of you are committed to it, knowing that it doesn't go outside the marriage, then you stay in there because it's exciting. It's I'm excited at what will happen this year, because every year we discover something new.
That's
sense.
so amazing.
Seriously.
Okay, can we 20 every year you discover something. So 2026 we have to have you back so you can tell us what you've discovered.
Yeah. So it's good. It really is. It really is.
Oh, well,
it really is.
Well done. Thank you so much. Can we please appreciate them? They have been amazing and totally vulnerable. And I know that they've kept some things back, because when we had the pre-session, there are some things that they talked about that we haven't mentioned here. So maybe when we have the Zoom session, we'll go deeper.
Yeah.
But it'll be strictly by invitation, because we don't want just anybody So thank you so much to me and Tunji. God bless you. I really do
Thank you
appreciate
for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.